Hey, Blue Rockers, welcome to Blue Rock Talk with Connie Willis. This is Crypto Connie Tuesday. How are you? Yes, this is live. Who was asking that? Pat. Hey, Pat, what's going on? People were asking about you the other night when you weren't on. they were like, where's Pat? Well, they didn't say Pat, but I know you like Pat. So anyway, yes, this is live. Hey, everybody. Blue Rock Talk is Earth's most interesting conversations. That includes people, places, and things. And part of that is crypto. So Crypto Connie Tuesday tonight, where we look into cryptocurrency. And then we have on Wednesdays coming up, this is coming up in the future. Excuse me, I'm going to have some coffee, and I guess I'm picking up on something. It started happening the other night on Coast, right before I went on live, of course, right? But Wasted Wednesdays is coming up in the future. That's a serious look at the cannabis industry. And there is going to be a lot of crossover. In fact, there's a lot of crossover in all of the shows because all of you guys are open-minded. You are blue rockers. You are in the know. And that's a very serious thing to think about. It's true. You know, it's all crossover, and this is a good thing. So we're in the right spot, and so are you. So Wasted Wednesdays is coming up in the future. I know a lot of crypto will be involved in that. So I don't know if some nights on Crypto Connie Tuesday we might do some of the cannabis coins or some of the other businesses that will be on blockchains, as well as in the Wasted Wednesdays, we're going to have some crypto stuff going on in there too. This is what I've been researching and finding out. And anyway, some really big surprises for you. Really big surprises for you coming up in that. I'm very much looking forward to that. Let's see. Also, what do we have? Thursdays, our signature night, Far Out Thursday. Have some interesting things coming up on that. If you did tune in to Coast the other night and you heard Benjamin Radford at the beginning with the origins of Halloween, and also that's the camera right there. I got a different camera on now, so it's that one. We talked about the origins of Halloween, and we also talked about his latest book where it talked about ghost hunting. Then after that, it was Paul Sinclair that was on, and he's out of the UK, living in an area like on ley lines and all kinds of crazy things that go on there, alien, UFO, Mind Speak, Bigfoot, werewolves. We were talking about the werewolves in London there, and a ton of other stuff that goes on, like the Bermuda Triangle, like the UK Skinwalker Ranch, like the UK Roswell, everything you can imagine. And while we were talking, there was a big noise that I heard, but it was direct in his ears. He's like, "Did you hear that?" I said, "Yeah." And next thing we know, we had to use another phone, and when he looked at his phone later, 2 brand new batteries, and I think it was a brand new phone too, but the 2 brand new batteries had exploded. Now, even he said, maybe one exploding, okay, but both exploding. Whatever the deal, whatever the case, that usually happens on those shows where there's whistleblowers or things that should not be known. Just saying, and that happened. So in going back to what I was talking about, Far Out Thursdays, we will have him on soon to discuss that and show you the pictures of that, as well as Derek Tyler, who had a ton of problems too getting on, big-time whistleblower. Couldn't get his book out on time. All these little tiny things were just, stopping that. So we'll talk to him as well. That's what Far Out Thursday is all about. Then Bigfoot Fridays, we have that, you can figure out what that is. Serious look into the Bigfoot world. And then we also have Stan's Bible Lecture. That's 2 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. All the other shows are 9 p.m. Eastern. Somebody came in last week or something. I said, I think they were used to everything being on at 10 p.m. Instead, that we raised it. We've had it up to 9 p.m. Eastern for I don't know, maybe a month or so now. So anyway, those of you that are new here, that's what it's all about. So tonight is Crypto Connie Tuesday, and we are live. Let's see who else is in here. Word up, Daniel. Blue Rockers. Yo, hope you can do that one. Let's see here. From Louisiana. Very nice. Hey there, JR. Oh, yeah, you were hilarious last time. Thank you for joining us again. Oh, Patrick's been on a secret project. Awesome. Awesome. Hopefully you can tell us about that sometime. So we are live. Okay, we are going. Everybody can hear me okay. All is good. What do we got going on here? Okay, so we are currently on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and DLive. Now, DLive has changed over. It was off of Steemit. Now it's over on Ling or something else like that. I don't know what any of that means. I can't figure it out. I've sent them a question in Discord, and just waiting for an answer now. I just did it, so they may have already sent something. They're usually good about helping out, but I can't figure out how to put in the description for each show, how to fix it after the show if I want to edit anything. And thank goodness Hugo went by and gave me some Ling, I guess. Is that what I'm getting now, is Ling? I don't know. I need some help there. And then BitTube, I'm trying bit.tube. I'm trying to get situated on there. I thought I was on there. I cannot figure out how to get on. I want to get on because even what's cool about BitTube, those of you out there that do videos, it also, even though it's for their sake and it's smart of them to do, it also allows you to pull up all your YouTube videos and load them all up there. It's got like a button. I don't know if it's just a one button, one push button kind of thing. That's what it looks like. I haven't hit that yet because, I don't know, does it just yank them all up there? Does it take the private ones too? Does it take the unlisted ones? What does it do? Does it just throw them all up there? I don't know. So trying to figure out information on that. Any of you out there that know anything about BitTube, as well as, and Fuzzy told me about that when he said, hey, check out BitTube. So anybody knows anything about DLive, let me know, okay? Yeah, I wish they didn't change either. I don't know why or what, or if it was, they wanted their own blockchain. If it is their own blockchain, I haven't read all that. Oh my gosh, there's so much to read constantly on all the stuff I do. I'm exhausted. I need audiobooks and tutorials. Darn it, that's what I'm asking for. So once again, we're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and DLive. Those of you on Facebook, I will check it when I can, but basically come on over to YouTube at Blue Rock Talk with Connie Willis. That's where the live chat is that I can really monitor. It's very hard to monitor all of them. There's just no way. And I have this restreaming thing, Switchboard, Cloud, but they don't have that in it, and it's a little aggravating because they're expensive. These things are expensive to keep going, and I know they believe it's legit and all that, but when you're by yourself, you need all that. So it's on their list, and they're good. They're good to me. They talk with me and all that kind of stuff. But man, it's it's expensive stuff. I guess it all is. Hopefully there'll be enough competition where all that goes down at one point, because it's just, I don't know how long that can last. It's just the way it is. Okay, so we have, what other announcements do I have for you? Okay. Oh, by the way, those of you that have donated to me, thank you so much. I know that there's things like Patreon, and I think you can still do it on YouTube and all that kind of stuff. Please, if you are going to give, and I thank you so much, it helps, it goes into equipment, please do it in crypto. Please do it in crypto. And even if you give one BitShare, like some people go in there and give one BitShare or 5 BitShares, I'm still very thankful for that. I know that's about a dime or 50 cents or something, and that's cool. It will build. So thank you, those of you that do that. Somebody gave me 5,000 in Zephyr. Some other people. I mean, I love when you guys really throw it down. It's like, wow, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so I want to show you now Stan Larimer, the Godfather of BitShares, and MichaelX as well, his partner in crime, as well as director of QUINTRIC. They are in Ireland right now, and let's see, I don't know what time it is. I think it's late there. I don't know, but if they're not out having a good time eating, drink. I mean, Stan's a drinker, man. He'll drink you under the table from what I see him and Michael going at it back and forth. But they enjoy their liquid libations, as we were taught to say in radio. But they're good. They're good. You guys know they are. But they are actually working on a documentary for QUINTRIC right now. So I do have some pictures here that that Stan sent to me to let me know what was going on. Now, I asked at one point, hey, can I show these? And I haven't gotten a response yet. So I kind of feel that he wouldn't have sent them to me otherwise, or if he did, he would have put "do not show." So he didn't do any of that. So I'm betting it's okay. So if it's not, just back me up, okay? Just back me up on this. So let's see what's going on. So they're putting together a documentary. So I got to turn off all these other things. My gosh, it can be a pain to do this. Oh, I turned off the wrong one. Okay, here we go. All right, so this is okay. You should have sound now, right, of me? Do you guys hear me now? Okay, I'm hoping you guys can hear me. So there's a cameraman there that looks like they're shooting the documentary. Here again, as I'll show. Okay, here is another picture. I don't know what it means, but he sent it. There's the cameraman again. I'm hoping you guys can hear me. It might be low, but I think you might be able to hear me. There we go. I want to see if you guys can hear me now. See if you can hear me now. I don't think it's very loud. But this is something else they sent. I don't know. You tell me what that is. You tell me. And here's the crew right here. You can see Michael Taggart or MichaelX on the left. You see Stanley on the far right. And in the middle, I think one of those is Once Upon a Time. And I'm not sure of the other. I don't know these guys. I don't know these guys. But there you go. Anyway, holding up those pictures that we just had. So I think it's okay to show, I hope. I don't want to jinx anything, but they are putting together a documentary. And I think that's really cool. So let's get back to where we were. I think we're still on, right? Okay. Boom, boom. Okay, hold on, everybody. This is not easy with all this stuff on here. Holy cow. As I go, I figure some of these things out where you guys do not get audio. All right. Hey there, Dr. Mulder. By the way, those of you that are wanting that wishing machine, I want to say it early on. It's all about radionics. Dr. Mulder, if you can put up your link, just ask for the Blue Rocker special, and you get, I think, $100 off. It's the wishing machine. It's based on radionics. You hear it a lot on Coast to Coast. You've heard me talk about it before. I think I even did a bit on Huffington Post about it. It's all about Dr. Brahm, right? It's not Abrams. I think it's Dr. Brahm. Years ago was dealing with radionics, and it's a way basically that you can put a thought out there, and it continuously puts the thought out on it, keeps the spotlight of that thought, so you can get your wish or prayer or healing or growth or whatever it is you're looking for. There's proof behind it that it works by, I know they worked with the yield of crops. So anyway, he is in our live chat right now, so welcome Dr. Mulder on there. And if you are interested in that wishing machine, there is a Blue Rocker special, so anytime I see him, I want to make sure you guys know about that, so you can get 100, I think it's $100 off, right? You please tell me the deal, tell everybody the deal there, Brad Mulder. That's Dr. Mulder and the wishing machine. Okay, so yay. Now tonight, one of the things, what I'm going to do is Stan was in Sao Paulo along with MichaelX, and they both spoke, if you guys remember. So tonight we're going to play them and what they spoke about. Stan, of course, spoke about the BitShares Dynasty, and MichaelX talked about QUINTRIC. So we're going to show those live. They're both about, I don't know, 12 minutes or so, 15 minutes or somewhere around in there. It's funny because most of the people do not speak English there. So could you imagine standing up, speaking, giving it your all, and, you know, some people knew what you were saying, you know, maybe, I don't know, 5, 6, I don't know, really, I don't know, but it's kind of funny because Stan makes a remark. So we'll do Stan first, and then we'll do Michael. Beforehand, though, I want to show you something. Got to make sure you can hear me, though. So let me put my mic in. Crazy, I got to do this for each time. So forgive me as I take a look at this and make it louder. Got to make these things louder. Okay, it's going to probably change on me. Okay, well, anyway. Let me clear this so we can see it all. Okay. So I think you can still hear me. Not all that loud, but I'm going to talk as loud as I can. This is my tower garden. I hope you can hear me. This is 6 weeks of my tower garden. That's my acorn squash, and I think it is a yellow squash. And I got bib lettuce in there. I got jalapeno peppers. I got arugula. Which, by the way, I think a leaf of the arugula. Oh my gosh, was it peppery? And oh wow, you know, it is true. It certainly tastes different when you taste it fresh, for sure. But as you can see, 6 weeks later, from seedling, by the way, from seedling 6 weeks. There we have it. So the water's running on there, and what it does is it pumps the water from the bottom up with some nutrients up all the way up to the top there, and then it drizzles down onto each one of those seedlings that I've added, and they grow inside and out. And right there, I still think that right there, that's just a blade of, I think that's just grass. I think a grass seed got in there. It just looks like grass. But that's it. That is my tower garden, and that is how my tower garden grows. That's it. That's how my tower garden grows. I hope that you guys could hear that. Okay. All right. I only know when you all tell me, for the most part. Okay. All right. So, wow. That was my tower garden. That's kind of cool, huh? I want to thank those of you that did show up on Coast to Coast and wrote such nice things to me as well. Thank you so much for that, for joining me. I don't know when I'm on next. I do, I've got some zombie kind of stuff. I don't know if you guys are interested in that, but maybe I'll play that on a Thursday night or something like that. But it's kind of fun. See, I like Halloween. It's cool. That's why Coast to Coast. I was Willisween. So let's go ahead and get to the stuff that you guys want to see. I'm going to play it. You can talk amongst yourselves. So I'll keep it going. So we'll watch Stan first. Then after Stan, we'll bring up Michael talking about QUINTRIC. Okay, so it'll be just like you're there in Sao Paulo. So let's do this. Let's bring it on. Let's see, we'll bring up Stan first, and I hope that you guys enjoy this. And hang in there. Right after this one, we'll bring up Michael. You might still see another intro. Sorry, I'll see if I can cut that out. But, you know, if not, don't think it's the ending and it's over. So I'll see how everything's going afterwards, too, and see if you guys need anything from me. Okay? All right, so enjoy. This is Stan in Sao Paulo.
Wow, what a dynamic speaker I have to follow. I didn't understand anything he said, but I believe every word. So, at any rate, I'll do my best to keep up that pace as we get started. I'd like to talk to you today primarily about blockchain performance. And one of the best things to use when I'm doing that is to talk about the BitShares DYNASTY, which is primarily focused more than any other combination of blockchains on performance. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that using these guys as an example, and I hope to give you some generalized insights on a whole spectrum of different things, how to get more performance and how to deal with regulatory issues that we're facing. A lot of different stuff. But first, let's just mention the three members of the BitShares dynasty. First one being, of course, BitShares. You always name a dynasty after its very first king. And BitShares is a blockchain that is a smart coin factory and a decentralized exchange all put on blockchain. And at the time that came out in 2014, that was one of the revolutionary things that you could do. Instead of putting a little unmanned company that did one thing like Bitcoin, where its service was keep track of who owned Bitcoins, this was a leap forward to take and do an entire company on the blockchain. We called it an unmanned company, and it provided its services with no human employees, and that's been in operation since that time. Larimer, the inventor of that, went on to do Steam, which was a social media platform that paid digital currencies for people to post and curate content. And once he got that launched, he moved on to his current project, which is EOS, which the OS in that probably stands for operating system, although they won't say that. I'll say it's the Earth's operating system since no one tells me what it really stands for. But it is a platform on which you can build very high performance blockchains and applications, smart companies on top of that. So that little family has the distinction of being simultaneously the most used and most underused of the blockchains out there. And I'll show you what I mean by all that. But most used means does the most number of transactions in any given day of anything in the industry. And most underused means it has more capacity to do more stuff that it's not being used for. So it's like an empty Autobahn, empty superhighway, with more traffic on it than anything else, but still wide open. And so we'll go on. I do have to make one point here. I am not Dan Larimer. I get that a lot. I come up and give a speech, and afterwards they said, I thought you were younger. So, no, Dan is the inventor of all this stuff. I just find good things to do with it and tell people about it. Okay, so things to talk about today. Sovereign software companies. Companies that can execute without interference by people who would like to make rules for them. That's sort of the holy grail that we all have when we started doing things like Bitcoin, right? That we wanted to put them out there so they were super decentralized, and that way nobody could interfere with them. And if a particular government were to try to interfere with it and stamp out every instance of that network in their country, the rest of the world would heal around it, and it would keep on going. That's the ideal dream of trying to do that. And it will be a never-ending arms race between people who would like to control everything and people who would like to not be controlled. And that's where we get into the concept of performance wars. And I'll talk all about what we're doing in order to achieve extreme performance as we go along. And part of that process for doing those two kinds of things, regulatory autonomy and high performance, is blockchains in space. Okay, this little chart here you can get on the internet. It's updated continuously. Instead of going to CoinMarketCap and finding out what all the blockchains are rated in market cap, you can go to blocktivity.info and look on that and see who's the busiest blockchain. And what you see right here is the three blockchains in the BitShares dynasty. BitShares, Steam, and BEOS. Recently, I grabbed that chart yesterday, I think. We're processing about 70% of the transactions over a moving window of 7 days for the entire industry. Bitcoin was next, Ethereum was next, and the rest of the industry was doing that other little. Those three together hold the record of 85% at one time not too long ago. So if you look at market cap, you get one impression of what's important in the industry. Obviously, Bitcoin is the big gorilla in the room, and you got Ethereum with the next largest market cap. Actually, one of this family, EOS, has actually broken into a sliver you can see in terms of market cap. And then the other ones are, down in the tiny little sliver that you've got right there. Now, why do I point that out? Are we using the right metric to figure out who's number one? Is it important to your business that a particular blockchain be highly valued, or is it high performance going to be something that your business is going to care about? And I have this conversation in every boardroom I go to with every management team out there. I walk in and ask them, how much do you think you're going to be using your system? And they'll come along and say, well, we've got millions of customers, this goes on, it's going to be big. We're going to be doing maybe thousands of transactions per second. I said, what did you build it on? Did you actually look at the performance capacity of the network you're building on? And they said, well, I'm sure it'll be okay. I said, it's got maybe 25 transactions per second for the whole world to use. It's already being used by the whole world. So when you move on to it, what's going to happen? And so at that point, they look at their CTO and say, is that true? And they'll say, yeah, all the industry has rallied around these very famous platforms. So, as we used to say back in the 70s, no one ever got fired by hiring IBM, right? But when you actually ask the question, will it meet my needs? Nobody does ask that question. So part of my mission for today is to get you to at least ask the question, what is the right performance metric for determining what it is you're going to be using? And that'll be different for different people. If you're doing a business, you care about performance more. If you're an investor, maybe you care about market cap, but I'd say you probably care about change in market cap more than you care about the individual value that it has right now. And that's why I would say that looking at market cap is a lagging indicator. It tells you the history of a given blockchain's value. Doesn't necessarily tell you where it's going to go next. Whereas looking at how busy it is and how much capacity it has could be a better leading indicator that will tell you where it might go in the future. So even if you're just an investor, just somebody that wants to do a lot of trading, knowing where the performance lies could be a good thing to look at. Okay. On that same website, BLOCKCRYPTO.info, they got tables of data that are updated continuously. And all I wanted to show you here was the top 10. And the difference between the top 5 and the top 10 is quite significant. You look at that dotted line there, and you see that above the dotted line we have transactions in the 500K up to 1.8 million transactions per day. Below that line, we dropped by an order of magnitude down to 74K and on down. The only reason I'm saying that is in this conversation I'm going to focus only on the top 5, and I think that's fair because everything else below that is way below that, and we'll just use those as 5 good examples. I hope I'm being fair in that matter. Okay, so different performance metrics can be thought of as orthogonal, pointing in 3 different directions, different axes. They're all valid ways to measure. And the 3 axes have 3 different leaders on it today, I would say. And so who's number 1 depends on how you're counting. If you're talking about price, well, that Bitcoin is a big sumo wrestler there, that is, a heavyweight. And it certainly dominates that axis. But if you're talking about flexibility, the ability to program something on the fly without having to ask permission of anybody else, well, Ethereum has been the champion along that axis. And then in performance, as I've just shown you, BitShares has been the leader in that. And then the new thing that's come along is EOS, which could stretch each of those 3 different axes because it is focused on flexibility as well as performance and hopes to grow in market cap to be competitive with the other. And then on top of that, our latest project, BitShares EOS, is a hybrid of those 2, designed to get even higher performance than that. So those are the categories that we can look at. And the reason it's important is because we're looking at a massive traffic jam out there. We had a little incident back in January, you may have remembered it. CryptoKitties came along, basically put in a delay, used up all the bandwidth that Ethereum had, and as a result of that, we had things go to a standstill. Had that same kind of thing happen periodically on Bitcoin as well, and in fact, you know what has to happen, right? They have to ration the processing to the highest bidder. That's why if you really want to get your transaction through on the Bitcoin network, for example, you got to pay a little extra. If you pay a little too low during peak times, you can sit there, and I have sat there for days waiting for my transactions to clear during a backlog. So I think somebody said the other day that Bitcoin will always be the reserve currency, but it's not going to be the payment method that people use. Okay, I believe that. I think that was a reasonable statement to make. It's got everything's priced in terms of it, so it's useful in that sense, and a lot of the trades that happen are done on exchanges just without using the blockchain or doing anything on the blockchain. And the need to move money on the Bitcoin network is about like the need to move gold by Federal Express or something. It's going to be something that occasionally you have to do, but it's not useful for high frequency trading or any of the other things we might want to do with it. And that's my main reason for talking about the fact that each of these coins and currencies out there has their niche that will be useful, but we shouldn't think that one particular blockchain is going to dominate. We're going to see a lot of them working in different niches as we go along. Just to give you an idea of what that performance means, I'm going to compare just three things: the dollar, Champion Bitcoin, and BitShares, and several little performance metrics. Okay, if you're going to send the dollar somewhere, and this is true with most fiat currencies that use the banking system, it can take you 3 days or so or longer in order to transfer that value. It can cost you $30 or more to do the actual transaction. And if you're using a system like Visa, 2,000 to 4,000 transactions per second is what they currently clock at. And maybe they've got a theoretical capacity to do 60,000 transactions per second with their existing system. And in terms of decentralization, the dollar is, of course, run by something called the Federal Reserve, and that's a system of 7 governors that have to vote. And as you can see on here, it only takes 4 governors in order to decide how to run the Federal Reserve. So that's a decentralization factor of 4. If you look at Bitcoin, it only takes 4 of the big miners to get to 51%, and therefore Bitcoin is as decentralized as the American Federal Reserve, the American Central Bank. BitShares has been designed, with all of the other ones using that technology, to have a uniform number of people signing blocks in the blockchain, and each one gets a uniform piece of time, and that's all decided automatically in advance. And so to get to 51% right now, you have to have about 9 signing it, so it's twice as decentralized as Bitcoin. And we found that if you use that technology, which is based on reputation, getting above 21 node signing is problematic because people who voted for those nodes probably don't know more than 21 people. And if you make it 100 or 1,000, you're just throwing in noise because nobody knows what to look for after they get the few that they know. So getting to that type of decentralization is probably good. If you look at the speed, you go from 3 days with a wire transfer, maybe 3 hours with Bitcoin if you pay enough, and 3 seconds on BitShares. And you get down to the EOS and you're down to sub-second level, and we're going lower than that. And as far as transactions per second, Bitcoin and all of the different systems that use mining are down in the under 30 transactions per second, probably way under in the case of Bitcoin. And we've seen BitShares clock at 3,300 transactions per second with a theoretical capability of 100,000. When you get to EOS, we're talking about the potential for scaling to millions of operations per second. So that gives you just a little bit of idea of some of the metrics I think that matter. And this just shows the other part of how much is left over after you do all the work that you're doing. I've got something here called the sweatometer, which is basically a measure of how hard the network's working. You can see this on block50.info as well. And as you can see, the 3 leaders aren't even moving the needle off of 0 in terms of how much they are being used, whereas you can see that Ethereum is often shown backlogged. And in this case here, when I grabbed this shot, Bitcoin was over half loaded at that particular time. So the difference, of course, is between whether you're going to use mining or whether you're going to use the technology called depots, which is behind these systems. if I wanted to look at that just to give you an idea of what that all adds up to, we have 3 axes of utility, which I just showed as a linear scale, and I showed price as a linear scale, but as far as performance, that's a log scale. Every one of those notches is a factor of 10. So to go from where you plot Bitcoin on this chart, it will be clear over at almost no throughput. Got some utility out on the utility axis. Obviously, it's the standard for transfer of wealth, and then Taggart in terms of market cap. You put Ethereum in there, it's a little bit faster, way out on utility, and it has a nice market cap as well. And if you put BitShares in there, more utility than Bitcoin. After all, it's a whole smart coin factory, decentralized exchange, and not much market cap yet. But figure over into what I call the DEPOS zone, which is the 80 orders of magnitude higher performance. What factors into that performance are 3 things. One is latency, how fast does it do transactions, 3 seconds versus 3 minutes or 3 hours. The overall bandwidth, how many transactions can it do in a period of time. And the third category is power efficiency. And power efficiency means, in one case, you need an entire coal power plant to do the mining to operate the network. And in the case of BitShares or any of these others, something like the power of a cell phone.
For 1 second. 1 second worth.
Okay. And when you add all those together and you try to grasp the 8 orders of magnitude difference is, that's the difference between a Model T car and a Starship in terms of total performance as we go. And the reason that's important is because when we want to put something like this in space, we don't want to have to take the whole power plant up there on the satellite with us in order to power the blockchain nodes that have to operate. So the whole idea of getting to high performance means abandoning Satoshi's wonderful mining concepts and instead switching to a new family of technologies that allow you to get to the low power, high throughput necessary to put things in space to handle all the world's transactions. And then EOS is now come on the scene this summer and is basically set to stretch that box in 3 different axes.
That's a new slide.
One of the things that I did is Ann left BitShares and went to Steam and then went on to EOS. I stayed behind as what is called the Godfather of the BitShares. That's somebody who just looks after it and is a champion for that particular system. So there was a little concern when EOS came out. Some people expressed it and said, well, isn't EOS going to be like a giant tidal wave swamping BitShares? And I said, not if I can help it. We got lots of other things that can do there. We think BitShares can ride on top of the EOS wave by using that technology. And that's what the thing we're introducing this week is BitShares EOS, which is really a hybrid chain. You take and make a clone of EOS and integrate it with BitShares without disturbing the BitShares system. And what you have is, depending on how you look at it, either BitShares is sitting on top of EOS or EOS is sitting on top of BitShares, but the two can work together. And then that allows us to import all the innovations that are coming out of Block 1 and all their billions of fundraising and R&D effort can now instantly flow into and support BitShares. And we can have coins be very portable, so that those coins can slide from one chain to another, be platform independent. So all the products and services that are on the BitShares exchange now can be moving around across more than one EOS chain out there as well. And then the other thing that we're going to do is specialty blockchains. Whereas EOS is designed to be general purpose and run in all jurisdictions, we're going to introduce a concept called jurisdiction agility. Smart contracts that recognize what node they're running on and what jurisdiction controls that node. So if you want to run in just a single environment that you know the laws are favorable to your company, you can create a company using smart contract technology and program it so that it skips nodes that are in jurisdictions that restrict your ability to use that ability. And when it comes to a node that does allow whatever it is that company wants to do, and then executes. This is revolutionary. A good example with our QUINTRIC coin that you heard about the other day is all its transactions happen in the state of Utah in America, and Utah has very favorable legal tender laws. So we set that up so when you do a transaction, it stays inside the state of Utah under that. Now this is very powerful for businesses who are saying, I'd love to use blockchain, but there's 250 different jurisdictions in this world, and I want to be compliant. I have to be my fiduciary duty to my investors or my clients, but it's pretty hard to try to keep track of that many different jurisdictions, all trying to figure out how to regulate things. This is a breath of fresh air, because now they can program their company to say, look, I want to run in Ireland or Malta or somewhere in the Caribbean or on a cruise ship in international waters. And every time that cruise ship is in the port, it shuts down just like its casinos. Every time it pulls back out into international waters, it can execute smart contracts in that environment, and therefore I can have a much simpler compliance profile to do my kind of business. And of course, the ultimate freedom would be to locate things in space. Right now, the only international law that I can find about the space is I can't put a nuke up there. Okay, I don't have any plans to put a nuke up there, but I certainly could put some smart contracts up there. And so, let's look at it. This is an actual little satellite that can be deployed inexpensively and can run a BitShares or EOS node. And if you have more than one of them, you can theoretically move the entire blockchain into the space jurisdiction. What's shown on here is the orbit. This is just one example where our plans are to use different kinds of satellites and different kinds of orbits and piggyback on different things. But this one just simply orbits in a polar orbit. That orbit takes about 100 minutes to go around, which means it passes over the ground station 3 times during the day and 3 times at night, and has about a 10-minute contact with one ground station. And during that time, it can process nodes and execute smart contracts. In fact, it can execute smart contracts all the time it's orbiting, whether it has connectivity or not. And that's just the first example of a proof of concept. After that, you start putting a constellation of these up there, and you get off and running. And so we call that particular project Sovereign Sky. And the idea is that the last refuge of freedom is space, the final frontier. And when we do that, we think we can have an opportunity for people to start creating unmanned companies on the blockchain, using software, deploying them to space, and not have the problem we all have of figuring out what jurisdiction am I going to make my company in. Well, once you make your company in your own jurisdiction and relax inside your current government, but put an unmanned company in space that's going to do everything autonomously to execute your business model and not have a lot of unnecessary restrictions in how you do it. And that would be where we get to the final idea of pigs in space, where pigs is private, internally governed smart contracts. And those are the things that I think are going to become increasingly popular as people look for the freedom they need in order to execute what they want to do. How do you get shares in this network? Well, we're going to do something called a raindrop. Now, people have probably heard of an airdrop. That happens in exactly one block cycle, and everybody who owns a given coin gets a bunch of shares. Right? They're given away free. This isn't an ICO. This is just an upgrade to the BitShares network. And so anybody that's got BitShares, all they have to do is move them onto the BitShares EOS network, and that'll collect rainfall in terms of the BitShares EOS, the BEOS. That's all scheduled to start coming up in November 5th, which is the 5th anniversary of the very first block in the BitShares network. And anybody that's interested in participating is free to do so. And they're finished up with 2 minutes left over, so I guess if there's a question, I'll take it. Can we get a microphone back?
Yeah, just a minute. Dave. Thank you.
Hey, how are you doing? What you're talking about is nothing less than revolutionary. My question is, because space travel has and is becoming more privatized, do you see the actual possibility in reference to costs, getting these satellites up in the air, a viable solution for a lot of companies?
Well, what we're going to see happening, you see a lot of the big names in the industry already talking about wanting to put a network in space that has basically internet connectivity for the world. Okay, so that's one category of constellations of satellites that can do that. We know of another project out there that wants to put many Hubble telescopes in space that private astronomers can access and use. Every time you see a Falcon rocket go up, or any of the other private ones, you see a big canister that has the main payload in it, and then behind it is basically a little Christmas tree of other payloads. And once they've got the first payload injected in orbit, then they go along kicking out all the other satellites, so with all the excess capacity. So the private industry has found a way to make this quite affordable. I think we can do as a proof of concept where we show every time this one little satellite moves over, 10 minutes, 6 times a day, we can execute contracts in space. And if people start figuring out how to use it, that'll provide the financial incentive then for us to deploy a series of 8 satellites around the equator. Each of these has a footprint that can cover the entire tropics, so plus or minus 30 degrees from the equator. And if you got 8 of them, you can cover that entire band. And then as you work out from there, you can put more satellites in different jurisdictions. And they can communicate in space and get around the world without passing through the existing internet, which is overly monitored. I think it's possible for satellites to communicate with each other with a direct laser beam that wouldn't be interceptable. And therefore we get a whole new category of privacy that can happen in space, and not to worry of the blockchain being encrypted now, but at some point in the future, as computers improve, can somebody go back and look at your private messages, or whether you thought were private? Well, these satellites, at least the lower ones, burn up every 4 years, and you've got to put a new one up. But when they burn up, anything that happened on it stays on it. So the possibilities for doing a free enterprise in space are huge, and that's just one of the next layers that we're building as we go for max performance.
Okay,
Good morning. Do you think space could be this entirely deregulated jurisdiction for long? I mean, when it affects the traditional business and governments, how do you think they could react to that?
Well, I do believe that there's a never-ending arms race, and part of what we're trying to do is be sure that we're always compliant with the regulations that apply, but we always are seeking places where we can escape from that. And this is not unprecedented. Think about the places where gambling is allowed in the world, in international waters, in certain cities, in certain places where it's allowed, other places it's banned. So governments do tolerate free zones some places. We're going to create this. I don't know, we may have to go further and further out in orbit in order to get to a free area. But for right now, this is, I think, a good move that encourages people to talk about the idea of blockchain sovereignty and our right to deploy systems without interference. If we get to a one-world government, then anything that touches the ground is probably going to be regulated. Let's hope that doesn't happen real soon.
Thank you so much.
Everybody, I'm here to talk to you today about how cryptocurrencies are changing the face of real money. And they gave me 5 minutes less than I thought I would have, so I'll try to make that time. We'll see. Is there a way I can get the presenter notes on this screen? It's still showing the regular. I think the question about money comes from the start of using money for what it is. Gold has been a store of value for many, many years out there, but I think the main question that people have to ask is, why is gold a store of value first before we get to the rest of this? The reason that gold is a store of value is not just because somebody decided that gold was worth something and somebody else would pay for it, and so it's a value for it. I think that there's a little bit more reasoning behind it. We have the periodic table of elements here, and there's a lot of things out there that could have potentially secured money or the value of money. So we'll talk about a few of those. So there's elements that are out there right now, like corrosive elements, reactive elements, gold's an element, metals, obviously are elements. We'll talk about reactive elements can rust or explode. So it wouldn't be a very good store of value if you were to use that for money. Radioactive elements degrade, so that's not going to be a very good store of value. Many of these elements, especially the radioactive, can cause health issues or death, so probably not good to carry around in your pocket or use for money. And these elements at large, we see iron on the side there, it's all rusted because it's a reactive element. But these elements don't offer much in terms of wealth storage for long term. When you look at gold and silver, gold and silver have both been used as currencies in the past. And what's interesting about those, we'll kind of cover some of these. Is there any way I could get some notes on here? Is that possible or no? With gold, and silver can tarnish. Silver has been used, however, it's more plentiful out there right now in circulation. Gold, on the other hand, maintains its look. It doesn't tarnish very easily, even though you kind of don't want to touch it too much with your hands because the oil's on your hands. It is used for things outside of just money. It can be used as a conductive element, among other things. Silver can as well. But with gold versus silver, I think gold at the end of the day wins because silver, again, is more plentiful and it does have the tarnishing capabilities that are out there. When we want to talk about money, we'll talk about, and I'm going to use the United States as an example since I'm from there. The United States previously used gold to back their money, and it was called the gold standard. And in 1971, President Nixon effectively eliminated it once and for all in the United States. Unfortunately, for the United States since then, the dollar has been degraded in value to the point that it is worth very much less than what it was when it started. Currency being backed by precious metals, gold or silver, something like that, typically helps to hold inflation and keep it in check. You're not going to see inflation as much. And this is one of the biggest reasons right here is it keeps governments from overspending. If there's not enough money for them to spend, they're not going to be able to spend this. But if they can just print it on demand, they're going to keep spending. It does allow for safer banking practices, which is extremely important to everybody because I don't feel like fractional reserve policies are beneficial to any consumer whatsoever. They're only beneficial to a bank. And would people agree with that here? I would absolutely 100% say that. And at the end of the day, gold-backed currencies have been used successfully for many thousands of years prior to this. And I will say that any central banking system that's ever been introduced in the history of man has failed. And just about every fiat currency that's been introduced in the history of man has also failed. What you see right here is from 1970 till now, dollars in circulation have increased because of unchecked inflation due to the fact that we do not secure the value of our currency with precious metals such as gold or silver. As you see right here on this chart, we have, in 1970, less than $1 trillion in circulation. Now we've got well over, I'd say 8 to 10 trillion in circulation right now. Interestingly enough, when the Federal Reserve was doing their quantitative easing, starting back in 2008, QE4, I think, is also known as quantitative easing. Its code name is Infinity. I think that they just plan on continuing to print money as long as we're going to allow them to do that. If you were to compare a gold-backed currency versus a fiat currency, if we look at the values of these things, what you see is a very, very big difference between what you would be paying if we had a gold-backed currency versus what you would be paying now with the fiat currency. A Corvette will cost you about $70,000 nowadays. But if we were on the gold standard, it would cost you close to $800. That is what inflation does. Inflation is a hidden tax that we all submit to and we allow it to happen because of our policies and our monetary policies. If you look at performance of gold, the performance of silver, the performance of oil or coffee, and then even the performance of Bitcoin or Ethereum or Ripple, what you're going to see is something very interesting. Now, gold has maintained its value very well. It's gone down a little bit, but in terms of stability, if you look at this chart, you'll see that gold is probably the most stable out of all of these that are being compared. If you look at silver, you're also going to see it being very, very stable in terms of a storage of value in long and short term. What you see there at the end is that big spike of Bitcoin right there where it actually exceeded, and when I say I tell people it basically kissed gold right around there in terms of value, and then went back down, and then shot through the roof and went up there pretty high. What's interesting about that is that people will say nowadays, well, Bitcoin has lost 70% of its value from where it was in January, and my retort is, look at this time last year, it was less than $1,000. So let's talk, right? Interestingly enough, though, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and other cryptos that are out there are amazing ledgers. They're a fantastic distributed and in most cases decentralized ledger. Most of those currencies that are out there are inflation-proof because there is a set amount that's been minted or created and in circulation. And most of the cryptocurrencies out there, you can't just create some more out of thin air. There are a few that can actually increase their supply if they want to, but I don't think people will take very kindly to that if they said that they weren't going to do that. A lot of cryptocurrencies are backed by a network of hash power and energy consumption. Now, a lot of people will say, well, what's Bitcoin backed by? You know, especially when I'm talking to folks that don't really understand cryptocurrency. And that's a hard question. You can say, well, it's backed by the energy, by the power costs. Well, if you turn into Bitcoin, can you receive energy in collateral or in return for that? Can you redeem that energy? The answer is no. You can't redeem that energy. Okay, so how is it actually securing the value of Bitcoin? And that's a hard question for somebody to explain when you ask them, okay, well, great, here's my Bitcoin, give me my energy, give me the power as collateral. They can't do that. Cryptocurrencies, however, are highly mobile, which is fantastic, and something that I believe is one of the biggest game-changing, biggest game-changing things about Bitcoin in general, or about cryptocurrencies. Now, when I discovered Bitcoin back in 2012, I thought it was amazing. You know, I've had to send money all over the world for different things in other businesses that I've been involved in. And it's cumbersome, it costs a lot of money, and it takes a lot of time. And so when I was able to send or receive Bitcoin within 10, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, confirmations are done, and it's in my wallet, I thought, this is going to be huge. And so I got heavily involved into Bitcoin. Now we're at the point where we can do sub-second transactions, and the only thing that really limits the speed of our transactions is the speed of light. Okay, we can now send and receive cryptocurrencies anywhere on the planet in less than a second, in sub-seconds, and it's in your wallet ready to be spent. Some of those technologies were created by Daniel Larimer, Stan's son, by our company Cryptonomics, which I'm the president of Cryptonomics, along with being a director at QUINTRIC. And that technology now powers close to 80, depending on the day, anywhere between 80 and 90% of all crypto transactions worldwide. The problem, again, though, is that you cannot redeem most of these cryptocurrencies for something that is tangible, something that you can't go and spend somewhere else with somebody that doesn't know about cryptocurrencies. So what we decided to do, Stan and I, and a few other people over the last few years, decided that we wanted to figure out a way that we could marry tangible assets, gold and silver, and potentially other types of assets and commodities, but particularly gold and silver, to cryptocurrencies. How many people here have read a book called The Creature from Jekyll Island? If you have not read this book, I suggest that you write down the name, The Creature from Jekyll Island, and you should read that book. It's a book on the history of the Federal Reserve and central banking, and it explains the gold standard and explains it throughout history, and it's probably one of the most researched books on the topic. After I read that book, I came to the conclusion that I absolutely had to figure out a way to marry this technology with tangible assets to create the gold standard of crypto. So what we did is we decided to link up with a man named Larry Hilton, who has helped draft in several different states specific laws for legal tender specie, which specie is currency. In the United States, since 1971, we left the gold standard, but in 1984, the United States did go back to allowing gold and silver minted coins as an alternative to a Federal Reserve note. You can spend these coins, however, it's a little bit more difficult to spend those coins because a 1 ounce gold coin only has a $50 value stamped on it. However, 1 ounce of gold is worth somewhere around $1,300 today. So they didn't make it very easy for us to use it. We wanted to figure out a way that we could make it usable for everybody. So what we did is we went and we created this token called the QUINT. And what's great about it is, in the United States in particular, and a lot of places in the world, gold and silver legal tender have special benefits, special tax benefits in many jurisdictions. In several states in the United States, you don't have to pay sales tax if you use gold and silver legal tender. So you can eliminate the sales tax. In all cases, there are no capital gains taxes. If you sell a Bitcoin, or even a part of your Bitcoin, you'll have to pay capital gains in many countries, most countries. Okay, at least some type of tax. And in the United States specifically, you have to pay capital gains tax. You can get around that with this because a legal tender is being used. A fiat currency exchange for a legal tender is still legal tender. So there is no capital gains. It's not treated as property. It's not treated as a barter transaction. You, as I said, avoid capital gains tax, and it is a fantastic alternative to fiat, but it's not very usable. As people continue to use cryptocurrencies, we believe that this type of coin or this type of token is going to be highly desirable for a lot of different reasons. As Stan stated earlier on the panel, we created what was called BitUSD back in 2015. It was the world's first stable cryptocurrency. Along with that was BitUSD, BitPeso, and BitYuan, and it goes on. In fact, we can pretty much create any type of currency, cryptocurrency, that is pegged to a specific amount. We can even do a real. And so we did this for a few different reasons. Most people don't want to gamble on their assets as much. There are some people that are gambling, but when you have money in your pocket, do you want to gamble on that money being worth less in 1 minute or 2 minutes? If you send your mother $1,000 and the next day it's only worth $500, she might not make you cookies anymore, right? Or invite you over. Okay. Those are those things where you want your assets in your store of value to maintain its value, not degrade or go down in value. And as we were stating earlier, Bitcoin, it is the currency that all other cryptocurrencies are pretty much traded against. When Bitcoin goes down, you pretty much see every other currency go down too. Regardless of what capabilities or benefits, regardless of what that currency is or does, they typically go down. Okay? And what you will also see is in those times that the currencies that are stable, the price-stable cryptocurrencies, those that are pegged to the dollar, they flourish. There is a rush to safety and people selling off their cryptocurrencies that are highly volatile to something that is stable because they don't want to lose their value. A lot of times people will end up paying $1.05, $1.10 for $1 worth of $1 stable crypto because they'd be willing to lose that 5 or 10% in value versus 50 or 60 or, in case of Bitcoin in the last several months, 70% of the overall value. What we're offering with QUINTRIC, and we do have a large booth out there, so please feel free to come and talk to us and we can explain in further detail. You have the opportunity now to participate in an economy based on debt, which is fiat currency, or you have the opportunity to participate in an economy based on value, which is what we're proposing and what we've been doing, which is what we call a QUINT. Now the QUINT is a 1/1000th of a gold ounce, and a QUINT S is a 20th or 1/20th of an ounce. The way we denominate that out is that a QUINT is worth about, I think, about $1.31 today. And if you buy it today, it's $1.31. If you buy it tomorrow, it's $1.31. If you buy it next week, it's $1.31. It's based on U.S. Mint's published rates. And we just basically take that coin and divide it by 1,000, and that's the value of the QUINT. Now, gold does fluctuate, and the U.S. Mint does change the prices on these coins from time to time, but nowhere near the volatility of cryptocurrencies or Bitcoin or anything like that. What we do, as we said, is we marry these coins with cryptocurrency And we take these coins as money comes in from sales, and we secure these gold coins, and we place them into our vault. Once we place them into our vault, we then release one of the crypto tokens out into public circulation. Okay? Every single token that is in our vault, or let me rephrase that, every single token in circulation is secured by gold or silver in the vault. There is zero fractional reserve. It's 100% reserve on deposit for every single token that is in circulation. How many people here feel like that is a much better way of banking and a way of using money? I absolutely do. Okay? So, I'm talking a lot right now about the US tokens. We'll talk about some international here, and I've got only just a few more minutes. The QUINTRIC monetary system US tokens are available to people outside of the US and people inside the US. Unfortunately, the United States has a lot of regulations, and it's not vice versa. The US citizens cannot use the international tokens. So folks like you, most of the people in this room, would be able to participate in using the US-based tokens or the international-based tokens. We offer tokens for each, as you see right here. And in the United States, several states have been, over the last few years, creating additional laws that secure the value of gold and silver as being used for legal tender. See, they're recognizing the value of responsible banking and economy based on value versus debt. In many of these states, especially the ones that are gold, those states have laws that are very, very strong in protection of these alternatives. And in several of the states that are in the yellowish color are in the process right now of moving towards sound monetary policies of gold and silver-backed currencies. And then we've got some work to do in some of these other states, but what you see here in the United States is that quite a few of them are willing to do this and to play ball. And if you want copies of these slides, I'll also make these available to the audience. The international tokens are secured by several different types, everything from the Austrian Philharmonic to the Chinese Panda, and several others. And you can, when you have our tokens, you can trade them to each other. You can sell them to each other. And those tokens remain in circulation. If at any time the token holder decides that they want to redeem those tokens for gold or silver, they simply have to ask to redeem it, and we will send them their gold and silver. That's kind of a new thing. How many people here have heard of a cryptocurrency that actually does that? Nobody does it. There are other gold and silver cryptocurrencies that are out there, and I'll show you a list here in just a moment, but all of them are, for the most part, storing bullion. Many of them are commodity-type coins. Some of them are security-type coins. Some of them are fractional reserve, meaning that they have more in circulation than what they have vaulted. If you look at worldwide, several countries are also pro gold and silver cryptocurrencies, or I should say gold and silver legal tender. And with our cryptos, they'd be able to participate in this as well, with the redemption of these digital tokens for actual tangible gold and silver. It has the stability of gold, the accountability of crypto, and the convenience and legality of fiat currencies. And governments recognize these legal tenders. If you want to compare the QUINT versus other cryptocurrencies and or fiat, here's a comparison chart that we have right here. The QUINT is not a security. It's not, or it is legal tender. It's spendable. It's tangible. It's scarce because it is secured by gold and silver. It has an inherent value that everybody can understand. It's loanable. It's legal to loan. It's stable. There's no capital gains tax on it when you use it, or you go back and forth from fiat. And it's inflation-proof. And not many of the cryptos out there can say any of that. Fiat currency can say that about a few things. And a lot of the metal cryptos out there, most of them don't cover any of the real, what I would say or consider to be the real issues of money, which is inflation, tangibility, right? and the fact that it is legal tender and that governments aren't going to overtax you on this. There are several, I'd probably say at least 100, maybe even more, of other metal-backed cryptocurrencies that have been in circulation, that are attempting to launch right now, or have failed. If you look at the comparison chart again across the top, what you'll see is that QUINTRIC has a lot of features that are desirable, such as a base value in gold, such as convenient redemption. It has a long-term stable value. It's 100% backed by gold. We have vaulting in the United States, and we're actually flying to Ireland right after this conference to open a vault in Ireland. So we'll have an international vault offshore of the United States. And one of the really cool features about QUINTRIC is that we also live stream video into our vault to prove that there is actually gold and silver in the vault. You can actually rewind it and fast forward it, and you can see the entire history of that vault from start to finish, from the time those coins are vaulted and put into circulation. And you can look at the blockchain and audit the blockchain and look at the vault, and you can see exactly how much money is in there and that it is actually there. They won't say that about Fort Knox or most other places that are storing gold and silver. The price breakdown is slightly different, and I'm not going to spend too much time on that because it was about $1.71 a few months ago. The U.S. Mint lowered their prices on these tokens, so it's about $1.31 right now. What we do is there is a small premium on those coins, and that's what takes care of the vaulting fees and insurance fees. When you use these tokens, you are not assessed any further fees for vaulting or insurance. Those are all prepaid with the cost of that token when it's being brought into existence and circulation. Now, I've only got a few more seconds here, so I'm going to take about one more minute just to wrap up. QUINTRIC, what we've tried to do with this system and with these cryptocurrencies is to address certain problems. Unchecked inflation, debt-based money supplies, governments overspending, precarious fractional reserving practices, absence of ease and finality of completing monetary transactions. People can claw back transactions when using credit cards, and people can actually have their credit card company take the money back out if you sell something to them for a couple $100. The credit card company could just take that money back away from you. There's not a finality in that transaction. A blockchain-based transaction is final. There's a diminishing financial privacy out there in the banking system, and it's just getting worse and worse when I believe that privacy is a right, anonymity is not. All right? And there's a disappointing lack of transparency in our money system worldwide. Okay. What we have tried to do with QUINTRIC to address these issues is to provide a stable and resistant to inflation and volatility currency, something that is legally backed by a government, something that is highly transparent to consumers. It settles much faster than any other competitor. You can send a QUINT, you can send gold or silver now anywhere on the planet in less than 1 second and be received, and it can be redeemed to anybody. And it can maintain an inherent value outside of the crypto sphere and outside of Bitcoin, dragging down those other currencies. See, when Bitcoin goes down, the QUINT doesn't. It stays the same value. In fact, it might even be worth more because people will flee to stability and safety and flee to something that's tangible that they can actually redeem for something of value. Again, you can't redeem Bitcoin for the energy that secures the system. In terms of cryptocurrency industry, what we're looking to seek to address on that was wildly speculative volatility, which is what we've seen quite a bit of, unwieldy or prolonged crypto settlement times. Bitcoin or Ethereum at times can take hours. In the case of in December with CryptoKitties coming out, some transactions took several days to occur, and it caused massive disruptions in third-party businesses such as Shapeshift, Coinbase, and the list goes on. Okay? And one of the biggest things is the adverse tax treatment by governments and regulators out there seeking to try to stifle this technology. What we wanted to do is, again, have physical security, meaning transparency, live stream random audits. So we'll have somebody walk in there and randomly audit on live stream. 100% insured vaulting, not by FDIC, by Lloyd's of London. No vaulting fees whatsoever. No insurance fees whatsoever. It's blockchain-based accounting, and the redemptions of QUINTRIC tokens for tangible gold and tangible silver coinage is not only possible, that's what we do now. There are other companies out there that are starting that will be using QUINTRIC. This is actually another company that I'm involved in right now, creating. And it's a 3D manufacturing supply chain that will be using QUINTRIC as its medium of exchange throughout the entire system. PalmPay, which is a POS type system and is in several countries right now, it can be used by anybody worldwide, is accepting and using QUINTRIC and allowing their merchants to accept any cryptocurrency and settle out to fiat currencies or settle out to gold and silver backed QUINTs if you wanted to. And they have a lot of cool features, but I'll kind of just pass over that. And also NetCoins signed a partnership with QUINTRIC. They're available in 21,000 retail locations worldwide through virtual ATMs, online purchases, and over-the-counter OTC large transactions. And you can go to NetCoins and check them out. I believe it's gonetcoins.com. I'm wrapping up right now, but the biggest thing I would say is go to the QUINTRIC website, quintric.com, read the white paper that's on there, look at what it is that we're doing. When it comes to money, what we're trying to do is introduce a responsible system of money back to the world and allow people to decide whether or not they want to participate in a debt-based economy or an economy based on value and tangibility of assets, something that they can store their assets long-term, feel comfortable that it's actually going to be worth something later on, and at the end of the day, be able to transact at the speed of light, utilizing all of cryptocurrency's amazing features, but with the old world values of gold and silver. Thank you very much.